Hey, good evening, folks. Welcome to the Let's Go Fishing show. And I've got my right-hand man here with me again tonight. And Mike, he's all fired up. He and I both are hoarse. We made a little trip last Friday night, and he's had this thing for 2 weeks. And I'd be dadgum, if I'd have known that, I'd have made him ride in the bed of the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now he's give it to me, so I hope you all can hear us, and maybe I don't sound as bad as I feel, but anyway, want to say hello to Dad and Bill and Polly Nichols, and Polly, I hope you're getting along a whole lot better. Folks, we got tonight, Mike, we're going to, I got some Heartland film, a Heartland weigh-in up at Point 19 there last Saturday, and went up there and filmed those guys, and we're going to have some of that on the film tonight, and then we've got some fishing film. Rick Whitson and I were down at Watts Bar last Friday, and just kind of fishing down there, see what we could do, and we caught a few fish, but we may show that tonight, and we may not. Just depends on, Mike, what we get going here.
Yeah.
So a lot of things going on, folks. I mean, I got all kinds of announcements here to pass along to you folks, and I'm sure you're going to be interested in it. A crappie tournament with a cookout afterwards, and a boat giveaway, just, all kinds of stuff. Free fishing trip with me, Mike. That ought to be worth a whole lot.
And what guarantee?
Yeah. I'm going to do well, I can't count on you and Brad filming, so I guess I'll have to go and do the filming. Yeah. Okay. But anyway, you've got a lot of things going on, and once we get through with the film and this, that, and the other, Mike's got a bunch of plastic worms over here, and he's going to do a little worm presentation for that caller that called in a few months ago about the plastic worms, and it's a little bit early yet, but now I guarantee you somewhere, Mike, you can catch them on.
Anytime you're around, you can catch them on a plastic worm.
I do believe that. I think you got to get the right color and the right size. Yep. Okay. Well, we're going to let you prove that to us in here in a little bit, and see how that works out. So, Herschel, if you don't care, show us that Heartland weigh-in, and then, folks, we come back, we'll have some things to talk about and see what Mike's going to show us. Hey folks, we're up here at Point 19 at the Heartland weigh-in, and going to get some of these guys on film, get some fish, we hope. We sure didn't catch many today, so we better get them in a bag. Well, sir. Folks, we got Jeff Russell and weighing in. He's one of the tournament directors. Him and Sam Mullins run the tournament. Oh, got a nice largemouth there. First question. Hey, folks, we got Jeff Mullins and Sam Russell here. And, man, look there.
Jeff Russell and Sam.
Sam Mullins and Jeff Russell. Excuse me. I was trying to tell these guys how to get the show. You know, that's real important. Hey, folks, really, 4 nice fish. And you guys, how much weight did you have?
1456.
1456. Pretty bag of fish, guys. And you did have another keeper, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Good deal. Appreciate it.
I'm gonna ask for a call, please.
I'm not going. Hey, folks, I got off second place.
Yeah.
Second place, Paul and Billy. 1468. Good bag of fish. Good bag of fish. Any tips you want to pass along? I mean, you catch them early, catch them late.
Call them all day.
Caught them all day. Okay.
I'm better. We called 10 fish.
Cold, no kid.
Oh, it was a good day. It don't happen up here very often.
Yeah. All right.
So you gotta enjoy it.
The water's got a little stain to it. You know, for
It ain't
this
clear,
lake,
yeah.
it ain't
Yeah.
clear, but it's got a little stain to it. Did you think that helped you a whole lot?
I think before we fish,
Okay.
I think the stain helped. But we did. Caught fish here and there, you know,
Running here. Yeah.
a lot of them. We went to the fountain.
Well,
Well, everybody's hurting on it.
yeah. This time of year, folks, the water running in is usually warmer, or the water being backed up usually warmer. So that's what you go to hunt for. Okay, hey, congratulations, you two guys. Don't forget to Let's Go Fishing show. Look forward to seeing you next Thursday. All right, see you. Okay. Well, hey, folks, I got Mike Melton here, and him and Sharp won the tournament again today. How much did you have, Mike?
We had 1632, but we weighed in a dead fish and they took a pound off. We didn't know that, and we could have replaced it with a live one.
Oh, man. All right. Well, anyway, another good bag of fish, another win for you guys, and so what you're doing seems to be working.
It's working.
All right.
We're still fishing deep,
Yeah.
but
Well,
now they're going to come up.
yeah, the fish are going to come up. I agree with that. Did you catch a lot of fish today?
We caught 7 keepers and about 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, okay. All right, that sounds good. I personally had 4 keepers, and I'm like you, 4 or 5 that wouldn't keep, you know. But 4 little old keepers is all I can come up with today. So, but I'm glad for you guys, and congratulations. Make sure you watch the show. I know you are.
I do. I love it. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
Get Roger over here.
All right, that's good.
Okay, hey folks, I got Roger Lefford and Jim Parker here. Doug Parker, excuse me, Doug. And you tell me about the fishing trip today. You had how much weight?
1449.
1449, a good bag of fish. Good bag of fish. You know, did you catch them shallow, deep? Caught them deep. Okay. In this around point 19 Lewiston Sea area, did y'all make a long run?
No, about 3 miles.
About 3 miles. Okay, man, that sounds like a good deal. Any tips you'd want to pass along, or you want to keep it a secret? I don't blame you.
Right now, we're keeping it a secret.
Right now, there's folks, you heard that, they're going to keep it a secret for a few more days. They've probably got another tournament tomorrow. So hey guys, seriously, Let's Go Fishing show will be on Thursday night, 8 o'clock, channel 12. Make sure you tune in and watch the show, and maybe I always learn something, you know, because I get to talk to you guys that know how to catch them, and so I try to mimic what you're doing, you know. Like that guy told me, caught them all on the crankbait, and I said, well, what kind of crankbait? He said, I can't tell you that. And I said, man, there's only 10,000 crankbaits, you know. I said, well, if you figure out which one that is, you've got it. I said, okay, I'll throw 10,000. No, I'm just serious. But yeah, but congratulations, you guys.
Yeah,
Appreciate it, sir. All right, man. Don't forget to watch the show.
All right.
See you guys. All right. Hey, folks, I got Jeff Russell, Sam Mullins here. They're directors of the tournament. Plus, you guys had a pretty good bag of fish today.
Yeah, we had 1456. Real good day fishing.
15-pound bag up here on this lake's a good day.
Yeah, I counted. We had over 16 bags.
16 limits caught today. No kidding.
Boy, that sounds great. I knew there was a lot of fish waiting in when I was trying to get my boat on the track. Yeah, everybody was running up and down. I wished I got you guys. Next time I come up, I'm gonna give you one camera, and I'll take one, and we'll just try to get a bunch of people on the fish, okay? And when's your next tournament?
March 22nd.
March the 22nd. All right, folks, that's not a couple of weeks away.
Yeah, come out and join us.
Yeah, come out and join us. Weather's beautiful. The fishing's just going to get better, don't you agree?
Yeah.
I mean, as the water warms up, I had 47 degrees today, up to 49. What you guys had?
We went up to 50. We found one place was 50.
50. All right, that sounds good. That's going to bring them on. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I enjoyed being here.
Yeah, and I want to put a plug in for our sponsor,
Okay.
Bunch Marine.
Yes, sir.
Thank them for all they do and repowering my boat. And they're working on Sam's boat right now, putting the repower on it. So
All
we appreciate
right.
the Bunch Marine and all the guys that work there.
Well, now Curtis is one of my sponsors, and I always give a prompt. Remember the sponsors, and you know all of them I got because I couldn't do the show without them. And plus, remember Bunch Marine on this repair. And hey, we're gonna have a drawing. I got some boxes. I'll tell you all set up at all the sponsors: Bunch, Reynolds, the banks, Citizen First Bank there in Auburn Springs, the other 4 branches, Oak Ridge, Wartburg, Hamilton. Anyway, Tim's Tire, just the sign shop. All my sponsors has got a restoration form and a box sitting there. I'm going to give away a free fishing trip. You know, within reason. You know, if I won't be able to go to Florida because I couldn't get back in time. But a day's fishing with me and whatever the winter wants to do. So we're going to pass that along too.
That's good.
Good.
All right.
Good.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Hope to see you next week or maybe all right. See you guys. Hey folks, I got Charlie Lane here, C&D Printing. Charlie, good to fish with you again. Hadn't seen you in a while.
Been a while.
Been a while, and how'd you do today?
Now we had 5 largemouth.
5 largemouth.
Yeah, they probably don't weigh 8 or 9 pounds. We didn't bother weighing them in.
Yeah, well, the 4 little ones we had just weighed 9 something, little almost 10, 9.94 I think Scotty said. So, but it was tough for us, but there was a lot of fish caught today.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was really a good day. Just wasn't good enough for us.
Yeah, you know, we can't all do that, but there was a lot of fish caught, and I was glad to see that. Some good largemouth right there.
Yeah.
That's what you had?
Yeah.
Okay. Catch your fish shallow, Charlie.
Yeah, caught them on crankbait and rattle trap.
Crankbait and rattle trap,
Yeah.
folks, and that's something you don't hear a lot of up here on this lake is a rattle trap, but it will work. Take my word for it.
You gotta have muddy water.
You gotta have the muddy water.
Pretty much.
That's exactly right. You know, because it doesn't take long for this place to clear up, does it, Charlie?
No.
We can get to clear really fast.
Real fast.
Yeah. Well, Charlie, it's good to have you, and I appreciate
You're welcome.
C&D Printing.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the help on the Let's Go Fishing show, and look forward to seeing you again.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, folks, we're back, and well, I hope we can make it. You know, a lot of good bags of fish caught up there, Mike. I think Sam said they had 12 or 15 bags of limits weighed in. Some of them was small fish.
Oh, yeah.
But 24 boat tournament, and you know, it's just like right now, this time of year, you can catch some fish out there deep, and you can find some up on the bank.
Yeah.
And that's basically what happened. Myself and Scotty there, we had 4 fish, weighed 10 pounds. We had a little old Kentucky, 3 good smallmouth, and missed a couple of fish, and you know, been right in the thick of things. If we'd had a limit of smallies there, we'd been real close. But anyway, Mike Melton and Sharp won the thing, and those boys they've been a tire up there for the last 4 or 5 weeks. I mean, they've just been doubling up and everything else, you know. They've definitely been on some fish.
Yeah.
And said he caught still catching his fish deep. We had some bites early that morning. We started in shallow, and then as the sun got up, we started backing out and finally got our first fish, which we missed a couple of fish, caught some little fish in our shallow. Caught some on a jerk bait, a spinner bait, and a crankbait. Scotty did have his line broke there once on one fish that might have been a pretty good sized fish. But anyway, we didn't put any in the boat till we backed out there in about 30 foot of water, and they were in that 20 to 25 foot range, and a couple of them right under the boat. So, you know, I guess you can consider that deep. It's not like 40 or 45 feet, but it's still, they definitely weren't on the bank. Like some of the, you know, the largemouth up there and on North, you know, they're in there shallow early.
Oh, yeah.
Mike, you know that. And what happens there, if the largemouth are in there shallow, the smallmouth are usually out, and then that swaps around. The minute those smallmouth go in there to bed, they get shallow, and the largemouth kind of back out a little bit.
Yeah.
And kind of thing goes on. And then in summertime, if you're catching smallmouth 10 to 12 foot, then largemouth will be 20 feet.
Oh, yes, yeah, sure will.
So they just kind of do a flip-flop up there for some reason or other, what we found over the years on that deal. But that was a good tournament. And you heard them say their next one up there is on March the 22nd. And we'll announce that whenever we get into the tournaments. I want to get to the ones that's coming up here current, like this coming Saturday. But what was a good tournament, and they had the 24 boats, which was a pretty good turnout for them, and that kind of thing. So the fishing up there is only going to get better.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Only going to get better, Mike. Well, listen, we got Mike's going to give us some. He's got a bunch of plastic worms laying out here, and I'm going to get a drink of water while he's going about this worm business, and I hope that viewer is watching. You know, when it is, if we think it's early, we don't start throwing plastic worms till a little bit later on. But like he said, the reason being, we don't downsize enough to we always fishing with something else this time of year. But I guarantee you, if you fish it, you can get a bite on it. And Mike, go ahead and show us what you got there.
Well, if you remember, probably we was 8-10-year-old. Mom was at us up there at Ben Witt's at the Sporting Goods up here in Jackson Square.
Yeah.
And she picked up a little old pack of worms, said man's jelly worms. There's 3 of them in that little old pack. And she had never used none before. And back then, the only thing you seen for a worm was a cream worm. It had a couple little beads and a spinner on the front of it, and a couple little old hooks laced in it.
Pre-rigged, yeah.
Pre-rigged deal.
Yes, sir.
And she bought them jelly worms and a couple of hooks and a sinker there. And we was over on Milton Hill, and of course, Dad, he's top water.
I know.
Went round and round that place of beating on that top water, and she finally got tired and put on one of them worms and throwed it out there. And first cast she made, she caught one. And I think a couple of casts later, she caught another. And after that, I seen right quick that there was something to them worms.
Yeah, I agree, Mike.
I mean, it's not only catch brim on regular worms, but any fish out there will eat a worm.
Mm-hmm.
And these plastic worms, over the years, have evolved. They've changed them from one end to the other, and they come from a little bitty 4-inch like this to the stick worm like this, or a great big one like this,
Mm-hmm.
And it just depends on where you at, what you're fishing for. And like Florida, that worm right there ain't that big at all.
Right.
We've caught fish on worms that big down there in Florida. Around here, it might be a little bit big, but you take a big bass, he won't think nothing about eating something like that. He'll eat a 2-pound shad, no problem him eating that worm right there.
Right, and it's amazing that the little fish you'll catch on that 12-inch worm right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then the big ones will hit a big worm like that.
Yeah.
Little bitty thing.
That's right.
And they'll just suck it right down. But over the years, everybody from Mr. Twister to Zoom to everybody has got into building worms and making different changes in them. They come up with what I call the old triple ripple worm, which now you think about it, I think Mike's got his three-legged job out there, chicken foot he calls it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, see, that's old triple ripple there.
Yeah.
And they just do so many different things with it, from the ribbon tail. And the first one's come out, Mr. Twister had the phenom tail, they called it. Just a little bit of backward twist on it right there. It made it work just a little bit.
Right.
Then they've come out with a hog hunter. They started putting them on the sides and everywhere else on them. Then everybody got to throwing shaky heads on them. Throwing a dang jig head and putting a worm on it and letting it fall to the bottom, just sitting there twitching it around.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of different
Can't see it on the camera there, Mike.
Yeah.
And most of the time they're using where's your watermelon floating worm? You didn't bring?
Them floating worms?
Yeah. Okay.
We got a floating worm.
You got
here.
bright green.
Bright green.
That's the same thing, just
Yeah.
watermelon, bright green, bubble gum.
Yeah. So many different colors in it. But you just put just a regular hook in it and throw it out there and twitch it around and let it just slowly sink.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be one grab it.
And you're using the watermelon stuff kind of on the shaky head too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. This is what they call a speed tail there from Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Speed worms. Got a lot of vibe to it. Does pretty good. I like the feel of it. And then they got a big old paddle tail worm.
Yeah.
Some of them like a fish at paddle tail quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then some's got the big gator tail worm like that. It's got a lot of vibration to it, a lot of movement to it. Ain't much head to it, but all tail.
Mm-hmm.
Works real good. But this is one of the old strawberry worms here, and man's had for years. Dug out one of them old bags up and down there. Got that little bitty tail on it. It ain't much, but it's just enough to make a little action there. And sometimes that's all they need.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit of action. But they've caught fish on worms from down there at Chattanooga. Marvin Stover, if you remember him, and some of them boys when we was down there with Dad and all of them. And back in that creek, and that boy caught that 18 pound on a black worm, about 15 foot deep, right in the middle of the winter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they'll hit a worm anytime.
Yeah.
You
I
get
wished you'd have picked up one of those, some more of those little 4-inch worms, and the slider worm.
Yeah.
Is another cold weather bait that works really well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little old skinny 4-inch worm that you're fishing a little old 1/8 ounce or 3/16 ounce slider head, they call it. And
they used to flatten that lead head out to make it slide whenever you'd pick it up and it'd slide down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Real slow, yeah. I remember fishing that.
But these plastic worms are that Texas rig on the plastic worm is probably the most weedless way to or snag proof way to rig that worm up that we've got. Wouldn't you say, Mike?
No doubt about it.
It's when you're throwing it in grass or in rocks or that's probably the best way in the world to rig the worm up. You don't see many worms flying, do you, Mike?
No.
No, they're usually on the bottom.
Usually on the bottom.
Okay, I thought you'd want to agree with that.
Yeah.
But we fish those worms in brush piles and around structure and in grass and you throw that thing in the heaviest or pitch it in the heaviest of cover that you're fooling with and you will hang it at times, but basically what hangs up is the sinker.
Sinker, yeah.
Yeah, that bullet nose sinker will hang up, and then the shaky head is a dang good rig on that floating worm, for sure. And but the Texas rig is like I said, it's not 100% snag proof, but it's way up there. Mike can even throw it up on the bank and it won't get hung.
Yeah.
So, Mike, what about rigging that thing up? Now, I see you brought a hook and some sinkers here.
Yeah. Well, like I say, sinkers come in all different sizes. You may want an 1/8 ounce if you're fishing that little 4-inch worm. Or if you want it to sink slow, you may want a 6-inch worm with an 1/8 ounce on that. If you're fishing this big worm here, you could even put an 1/8 ounce on that. Or you may fish it on a Carolina rig and put a 1 ounce sinker out there in front of it, dragging it along.
Mm-hmm.
Sinkers, they come in all different sizes, and the same way with your hooks. Some people like a keeper hook like this. It's got the lead head already on it, or you can screw your worm up on it and hook it up weedless and go with it. Some of them would rather hook it up regular Texas style there, put your line through your sinker and tie your hook on there and thread your worm up. And that's the best way that I've found to do it. Sure caught a lot of fish on them dang Texas rigs. A lot of them use, drop shot rigs?
Yeah.
They're using that now.
Yeah.
They put the sinker on the bottom and come up and put the worm in the middle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, they're using a lot of different baits, worms and minnow-shaped baits and stuff on that drop shot. A lot of things, flukes, just a little bit of everything and anything, really.
Yeah, that trick worm, and fluke is something you just don't use nothing but a hook. At least I don't. If you want to put a weight in it, you can. Make them little different pencil weights and stuff to stick in there.
Right. That kind of thing. Mike's going to tie his hook on his line right here and rig us up a worm. There's a lot of, I tell you what, you got to get those worms rigged up straight, and different tails on those worms will make that thing do different things. And if you're not exactly, it's like some of those tails right there on that worm, if you hook it, when you're looking at this big worm, for instance, it's got a flat bottom to it. Which it's
hand poured.
Hand poured, and the mold it left it with a smooth side. And you think, okay, that's the bottom. That will work on that worm. But then you pick up one of these other worms over here with this longer tail. I don't hook through the flat side. If you'll turn that thing up there where the groove, where it's molded, and go straight down that, follow that groove and come back up, it won't come through the water twisting your line up. If when you're fishing a worm a lot and you getting line twist, when you lay slack back in your line at your rod tip, and that line kind of curls around and goes together, your worm's coming through the water twisted. Now, some people fish a barrel swivel about a foot or so in front of the worm, and that'll work. But myself, I just, instead of, if that worm's like this with the flat tail, then you can get by with hooking it on the bottom, come through and out and hook your hook back through the flat side. Yep. When it's like that and right there, I follow the mold lines, and that way this tail right here can do its thing without that thing twisting around and around when you pull up on it.
Yeah. When you reel it in, it's doing that. You better rig it.
If it's corkscrewing when you're winding it in, there on next to the surface where you can see it, you probably
hook like that or something, it'll go to corkscrew.
Yeah, if it's crooked on the hook,
Yeah.
it's going to twist on you, and it doesn't take but a little while, and your line's all twisted up, and then you got problems with that. And I never seen many worms come through the water twisting. Did you, Mike?
No?
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Wiggling maybe, but not twisting.
Yeah, I agree. Exactly right. He's curling around, but he's not twisting.
Mm-mm.
So, but anyway, it just keep it as natural, folks, as you can on that worm fishing, and slow, is the key. You want that thing down there on the bottom. If it's real rocky bottom, you may not be able, but I'll just tell you, anytime that sinker bumps a rock or comes up over a rock, it's leaving a mud trail.
Also making that noise.
Huh?
Making that noise.
Yeah.
Peck, peck, peck,
That
peck.
sinker's pecking on the rocks, and if it's a clay bottom, there's no rocks around, it's still leaving that mud trail when you're dragging that thing on the bottom. And so it's all about keeping that thing in contact with the bottom, and when you're dragging it, picking it up real slow, it may come up off the bottom, but it's going to leave a soft, muddy bottom. When it pops up, there's a little spot of mud there, and when it plops back down, there's another little spot. So, I guarantee you, them fish are watching for that. They see that, and they come to investigate.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. The last time I seen the article in Bass, that's been a few years back, and they used to publish at least once a year, and it would tell you all the different baits and what time of year and what fish was caught on them and all this stuff. And all around, the worm had everything beat hands down.
I agree. I think if you look in your Tennessee Sportsman's magazine, and it recommends some baits to use on plastic worm is the #1 catcher.
#1 catcher, too.
Yeah, and I don't know that I fished one in the last 3 or 4 years myself. I used to never went to the lake without one tied on. My favorite was a 4-inch bluegill worm, 1/8 ounce or maybe a 3/16 ounce sinker, and on light line, 8-10 pound test line. And if the water was cold, why, lighten up on the sinker a little more. But I hadn't done that in years, and but it will work. And then in the summertime, I'll just tell you, my wife, when we were fishing, and she was fishing with me quite a bit, we'd go down here at Watts Bar in the daytime and fish, and I was throwing the plastic worm and had her throwing spinner baits and things of that nature. And she said, I can't fish this. I can't fish a worm. So we loaded up one weekend and went to Douglas, and at that time back then you could catch 20, 30, 40 fish off of one point. It was a proven fact. And so we went up there that evening before dark, and we got out there in Muddy Creek and hit a point there, and I got her up there with me on the front of the boat. She casted her rod out, and I said, now, watch your line. Had that fluorescent line on under the black lights, and buddy, it wasn't no time flat. She said, well, I didn't know this was that easy. I said, well,
Yeah.
It is. If you know the difference between the bottom and a strike, you got it figured out. Because they just, once that thing hits the bottom the first time and you're working along, you know when one's got it.
So he pulls your rod away from you,
yeah,
off, you know for sure you got
he's got it. Exactly right. So, but anyway, that's how she, and we loved it, and but that's how she got her. I taught her how to fish that plastic worm. Just took her up there where there's a lot of fish, and throw it out there and let one get it, and then you know what the deal is. So, fish those things slow. I like to fish. Well, I always fish a heavy action rod, at least a medium heavy, and about anything I fish. And so get you a sensitive rod, a medium. I like a medium heavy to a heavy fishing a worm, because you've got to jerk that thing, set the hook hard enough to pull that hook through that worm. And that's another thing, Mike, on these hooks. Now, you got the big wide gap hook now. Years ago, we didn't have that. And didn't even have the offset shank.
Yeah.
Pull that hook back out there and show that, which we talked about the hook several months ago. This little offset in this shank right here is what holds this worm up on there. When you pull it up there like that, it rests against this 90-degree bend, and then you embed the point. But, well, the first worm hooks, they had barbs on the back side of the shank, and they were straight. They didn't have this big wide gap and arch here. They were just a standard long shank hook with some barbs on the back, and to hold your worm in place and that kind of thing. So they were a little harder to make sure it wasn't spinning.
Yeah, a lot of them like to run their hook all the way through the worm, and then come back up there and pull it up just a little bit and stick it back over the point of it, just enough to keep anything from catching it. It pop loose a lot easier.
Yeah, you want to get that hook up there, like you said, that just makes it a lot easier to hook the fish rather than trying to come through all that plastic and then try to hook.
Yeah, the bigger the worm, the fatter and all that, the more trouble you have getting the hook through it. But
yeah,
most of the time you just
you take a little old pencil worm.
Yeah.
Got one like that red one laying there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that thing's not. It's what we call a pencil worm. It's real small. The body is.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take a big wide gap hook to fish that worm. But when you get into these fat bodies like this one here, you need something that's a big wide gap hook.
Yeah.
Because you got to clear all that plastic to get that hook into the fish. It's got to wad up somewhere, and it wads up around that.
That's that one.
Yeah, just like that big worm there. So that's kind of the deal on that. But we'll turn the phones on here in a little bit, and hopefully if you got some comments or questions about Mike's worm fishing, make sure you give him a call. And I'm going to say one more thing here right quick, and then I'm going to start talking about some of this other stuff. Last week we had those 4 young gentlemen over here from Clinton High School, won that the BASS tournament down there for the high school bass clubs, and had a great show, and I want to thank those young gentlemen for coming over and being on the show with me.
Fine bunch of fellas.
Yeah, they are. They're a fine bunch of fellas. They sure are. They definitely are. They're hooked. You can say they're hooked, and that's great. It sure is. Right quick, before I go to a commercial break, want to remember the free fishing trip. Now, the boxes are down at the sponsors, folks. They're there. You just got to ask for them if you don't see them when you walk in. Reynolds Racing, Tim's Tire, Mountain Pizza, Edgemore Outdoors, Citizens Bank, Citizens First Bank. The 5 locations have a box. The Sign Shop has a box. Bunch Marine has a box. So all those sponsors are on the restoration ticket down here at the bottom. They have boxes, and the tickets are just kind of double sticky tape and put them right on the top of the box so they'd be easy to find. And fill it out, fold it up, put it in the box.
Yeah.
And by the end of the month, I'm going to pick those things up, and we'll bring them in here, Mike, and put them all in one box, and we'll get an independent verifier and draw one of the names out, and then hopefully the winner can come over here and be on the show with me.
Yeah, there you go.
And we'll go from there. So don't forget that. And then next thing I want to talk about is the Reynolds Racing and Marine is having a community crappie tournament and fish fry. Kingston City Park.
Oh, yeah.
April the 12th, 2014, 8 o'clock to 1:30 p.m. And the reason they quit early so we could eat the fish.
Ooh, yeah.
Entry fees, $30 a boat, maximum 3 persons per boat, and you can fish from the bank, from what I understand. If if you're down there and you don't have a boat, and you want to participate in that tournament, you're going to get to weigh in 15 fish, and them 3 guys are going to get to weigh in 15 fish, or 2 guys in a boat, whatever it is. So but I thought that I heard them say they was going. If you were fishing from the bank and you wanted to enter it, you could get in it. So they're going to weigh in 15 crappie from each boat, and the rest will be used for the fish fry. So that's kind of the deal. It's 100% payback. $5 from each entry fee goes to toward the big fish payout and the payout's based on the number of boats entered. So that's a big deal, and that's sponsored by Reynolds Racing and Marine and the Let's Go Fishing Show. So we hope to see a big crowd down there. Glenn's going to have some crappie boats and this, that, and the other down there for you to look at and that kind of thing. So, but go to www.reynoldsracingmarine.com and get you one of these flyers, and that'll tell you all the information, plus look over what he's got as far as boats, engines, and that kind of thing while you're on his website.
Yeah, he's pretty good right there. You just slide right across the street right there, and you're in the bank. You can borrow the money.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Mike. He definitely is that. So we're working right along here. Let's see. The next thing I wanted to bring up was
I can taste them crappie already.
I heard that. The TSA meeting, Tennessee Sportsman's Association, is going on right now. And, we talked about that the other week, a couple of weeks ago with Jack Raines, and we've had a lot of interest in this thing. How many flyers did you pass out? 100?
Yeah.
Passed out about 100 flyers, and I missed my opportunity up there at North the other day to put them on the vehicles up there. But, without this group of individuals and some support from the members, we don't have much of a voice in what kind of regulations, stocking, and all this kind of stuff is handed down to us.
That's right.
So they do go and attend the TWRA and regional meetings and listen in on what's going on and at least object and make them table something or hold it over. So, that kind of thing. So remember that. That's going on tonight. And Jack said he was going to try to get that thing turned over, changed to Tuesday night, Mike. And then the last thing I wanted to mention before we get to the is Bunch Marine, www.bunchmarine.com. Arrange your boat giveaway. And there's some you got to be 21 years of age and this, that, and the other. Get on the website, pull that. If I can do it, I know anybody can do it. Get on the website, scroll down there, and it says click here on the Kicking Bass Boat Giveaway. is exactly what it's called. It's right there in the middle of the screen. And click on that, and it goes down to the how to register, what you got to do, and all that kind of stuff. So, it's got some counties that it's only eligible to certain counties in the three-state area here, this, that, and the other, and that kind of thing. But just read the rules and regulations and get registered to win that boat for sure. Herschel, give me about a minute to drink some water, and we'll come back and make the announcements and turn the phones on. Hey folks, I'm here at Tim's Tire, and I showed you there some of the piles of tires he's got down here. You truckers, he's got all kinds of tires for your on-the-road, off-road vehicles, your trucks, that kind of thing. I mean, just like I said, he's got tires for everything. Come by here and see Tim. I know you're not going to beat his price. He won't let you beat his price. And so come by down here at Harriman, see Tim's Tire, and let him earn your business. And, nothing else, can't drive down here, call him, get the price on him. They'd be more than glad to give you that. And, they do the mounting and balancing up here in the tire shop, and brakes and struts and things of that nature, on your vehicle if need be while you're there. So come on down and see Tim down here to Tim's Tire, going into Harriman on your left there. And also too, don't forget about these helmets. There's quite a few empty spaces out there, but there's still quite a few helmets. He's got them marked down half price. A variety of every kind of thing on the helmet. He's got some that's just the shell, some that's got without the visor, some with the flip up, flip down visors on them. So just come down here and visit with Tim on the tires and look these helmets over. And hope to see you tonight on the night show. All right, folks, we're back. Herschel's going to turn the phones on, and while we're doing that, I'll East Tennessee Catfish Anglers. Their next tournament is at Caney Creek, March 22nd. Remember that group of people on the Catfish Trail. Then we got the Tennessee Valley Team Championship Tournament Series. They're going to start up. That's from Bunch Marine. They'll start up April the 19th and June the 21st. You can get on the website and get a whole lot of information about that kind of thing and the payout and all that good stuff for that. And then the Brandon Coulter Tournament Trails over on Loudon, Tellico, they're going to start up here pretty quick. Let's see, Tuesday night, April the 22nd. So you can get to the website and get you some information on that. Got the Milton Hill Division over here at Milton Hill, Carbide Park. That's Division 12. And their first tournament, let's see, what was that? Yeah, March the 22nd. So they're 2 weeks away for that kickoff. And then we got the Heartland kickoff down at Chickamauga, and it goes March the 22nd also out of Dayton down there. So, and then I know we got a Heartland tournament at Ladd Landing this Saturday, Mike.
Do you?
Yeah, sure do. Let me see. I think there's one at the dam also. Ladd Landing, March the 15th. Yep. So there's a phone call. We'll catch that and continue to make these tournament announcements. Hello, caller.
Yeah, what about the fishing pier down on Little Henry down there?
The fishing pier. You mean the boat dock that we talked about?
Yeah.
The guy that called about that last week, I put him in touch with Jack Raines and talked to Jack Monday, and they have talked, but, I don't know. At that point, Jack was waiting on someone from TVA or TWRA to give him a call, and they were going to go down and look at it. That's all the information I know of right now. So I hope that'll help you, but it's going to be a slow process to get that thing in down there. But if we stay after the right people, and especially support this Tennessee Sportsmen's Association, that's the guys right there that got a lot of pull, and if we can help them, support them, they'll stand a better chance of getting that done than anybody that I know of. Did that help you?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Appreciate the show.
But buddy, you're more than welcome, and I hope we can get that dock in down there. But I did talk with Jack Monday, and he's done made a couple of phone calls, and I haven't talked to him. They got a meeting tonight up there, so we'll hear something from him hopefully tomorrow or next Monday.
Yeah.
Appreciate you calling in.
All right. Keep us informed on it then.
All right, bud. Thank you, bud.
See you later.
All right, bye. Okay, so, we do need that boat dock down there.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people use that little old ramp. We need to keep that thing going and see if we can get that, get a dock in down there.
No doubt about it.
For sure. And it's handy for you and me whenever the water's up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sure is. Okay, next tournament trail is the Volunteer Bass Trail, Phoenix Boat Deal with James Knuckles. That's www.volunteerbasstrail.com. And, their tournament out here is March the 15th. Mike out there at Percy Priest in that area. And then his next one is April the 19th on Norris. So, and then May the 10th. Chickamauga at Dayton. So it just keeps on going and going. Get on that website, folks, and get you some more information on that.
Smallmouth ought to be
excuse me. Huh?
Them smallmouth, they ought to be getting.
Oh, by the 19th of April?
Yeah.
Yeah. If not sooner. If it stays warm like it did Monday and Tuesday, yeah, definitely for a fact. So, that water temperature's coming on up. Folks, we caught some bass. Some of those fish caught on Norris last week, last Saturday, were in a foot of water.
Mm-hmm.
The guys that I talked to caught them in he said they was just literally throwing the bait up on the bank. And the fish were getting it. So the largemouth now, and I caught a couple of smallmouth there, Mike. It wasn't keepers, and they weren't into, I was sitting in about 6 foot of water, and they hit right on the bank. So, the water clarity on that lake is a big issue. If you find the muddy water, those fish, and you know how it is when we go down here at Watts Bar, folks, and especially this time of year, you go right after a heavy rain, and the water right again the bank, it has for some reason or another, is a little clear streak.
Yeah.
And you want to put your bait right there in that little old clear streak.
Yeah.
And because we think the fish are sitting out here watching, looking back towards the bank.
Yeah.
and you know, in the muddy water, that's the whole deal to it right there. So you know, when you got that water temperature gets above 54 degrees and gets a little muddy, look out. You get your flipping stick out and get in there and, you know, 2 foot of water and catch them.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
We've done it too many times, for sure. Folks, I want to mention my other sponsors. Mountain Pizza has got, or they're looking for some video games, that kind of thing. She's thinking about knocking out a wall and doing, expanding a little bit, going to put some pool tables, video games in that extra space, and somewhere for the younger people to congregate and eat there at the Mountain Pizza. So she's looking for some stuff of that. So if y'all see anything, don't forget that. And then don't remember the karaoke on Saturday nights from 6 to 9, and then all the food and specialties that she's got down there at Mountain Pizza. So remember that for sure. Remember Carm, folks, you know, anything you can do to help that outfit and that organization. They feed a lot of people, about 1,000 people a day, and provide shelter and this kind of thing for a lot of the homeless people. Mm-hmm. So need to help them any way we can. Sign shop, you political people, if you got any signs, you know, political signs you need made up, give them a call at the sign shop for that thing for sure, and see if you can help them on that. Well, wish we'd get another call, Mike. Remember Bunch Marine, Tim's Tire, Citizens Bank. You know, you all saw the film I shot with Billy Rice, the CEO of the bank, and he says they'll compete against anybody, and they've got all this electronic banking and everything, Mike, you know, that and everybody else has got, and they're good, friendly folks, I guarantee you. So remember those folks, and Edgemore Outdoors, Jim Williams. You know, I didn't get a chance to call Jim this week. Actually, I just felt bad. 2 evenings after work, I went home and went to bed.
Yeah.
Mike's giving me this bad disease here. I don't know what it is, but it's rough. But anyway, Jim came in here last week, you know, and gave those 4 young men there a $100 gift certificate apiece, and was a good thing for him to do. I mean, I knew he'd do something, you know. I just knew it, and I appreciate him doing that kind of thing. So Jim's always a big supporter of the community. So remember the sponsors, folks, and remember when you go in, sign up for the free fishing trip, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I think I'm going to sign up myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you buying the gas, it don't matter.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Well, if I win, I could let you do filming. I could fish.
Hey, that'd probably work too.
Yeah. All right. Folks,
Might not see much.
God bless you. Hope to see you next week. Hope I feel a lot better.